Hey, what's good, everybody? JayPing here, checking in. Respect My Region Buddies brand. We are here today, episode 2 of the Better Budtenders podcast. Today we've got Taylor Hart, special guest. Special because she's been one of the most pivotal team members on Respect My Region, but also special because she really, really enjoys smoking outdoor mids from like 2 to 3 years ago. He has the absolute worst tasting weed I've ever discovered in my life. And you know what? If you give her a dab and it's low temp, she's always going to tell you to reheat it a little hotter. So, thank you for being here with us today.
You nailed it. That's exactly who I am.
Oh my gosh, are you telling me right now that we have technical difficulties already on the first 2 seconds? Is your mic plugged in?
My mic is plugged in. Can you not hear me?
I am not able to hear you. All right, give
Let
me a brief moment,
me
everybody. Give us a brief moment
fix
here.
that.
Can you hear me now? I can't hear. Sick. I literally just did this.
Is that working?
Yeah, now we're working.
Okay. I was like, I literally just did this not that long ago.
Well, I'm not going to repeat all that shit talking, and then, I didn't have you muted intentionally for that. That was not the goal there. But
wow.
and then it was just, anyways, everybody, technical difficulties right off the bat. Episode 2, Better Budtenders Podcast. We're back. Now we're officially getting started. Motherfucking going. Taylor Hart representing Dockside Cannabis and herself. As I mentioned briefly and previously, Taylor, one of the most pivotal team members on the squad, really helped get our shit together, get our act together. Snapped her way to becoming one of the most, important members of the squad. Editor, writer, featured in Seattle Times. Taylor.
Joey.
What are you smoking on?
I am making a little Royal Tree salad here. I'm going to be smoking on the middle fork and the candied grapes from Royal Tree right now. Mixing them together for a nice little fruity sandwich. They're pretty frosty buds, though. You can't really...
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm rolling up some Royal Tree right at this moment. And then I also have some Crepe Ape oil from Fire Bros that I just picked up yesterday. And this guy is really, really super good. I smoked the flower not that long ago, and it was really good. This is the Crepe Ape was the NFT collab that Fire Bros did a while ago.
What you talking about? Who you talking about like I don't know?
Oh, he got it too.
What?
Huh? Who knows? Yeah, so I got some of that oil that I'm going to be dabbing out of my Puffco, and then I am rolling up a blunt right now of that middle fork and the candied grapes.
Why you lying? You know you have other people roll your weed for you.
I like to lie about every aspect of my life. That way it doesn't really seem like I am who I am.
What a great transition to who are you and what do you do in the weed industry?
Oh, man. Well, at the moment, I am a certified medical consultant at Dockside Cannabis in Ballard. I am a shift lead there as well, so I'm a key holder, and I run closing shifts mostly because I hate waking up in the morning. So I'm a closer, and but yeah, I really have been in the Fremont Ballard area bud tending since the start of 2018. So I'm going on 4th year, and in April it'll be my 3-year anniversary at Dockside itself. So I've really worked with a lot of the community to better their lives with different products. I have a handful of customers who I've been literally serving since 2018. And I've seen the progression of who they are as a person, and how when like some of the first times that I served them, they were, only knew like indica flower or whatever, they didn't use any other products. And I've helped them throughout the years, grow into other products and more like wellness products, and like get their bodies in check so they don't have to smoke to compensate for whatever, but they use cannabis to, reduce whatever pain or anxieties or anything like that. So it's kind of cool to be in the same neighborhood and area and working with these people over the years, especially all my medical patients. I truly, truly enjoy that aspect of my job, even though I still work retail sales basically.
Do you notice that the people that you've been serving a long time, that they ask for certain things consistently, or that they smoke a certain style or way,
I definitely notice the trends between my different customers and whatnot. But over the years, we've definitely educated them enough to where they're starting to ask for new things and other things. So I've actually seen their habits change over the years with the education that they've received, especially in store at Dockside. The last store I was in, we had a few people who were highly knowledgeable, but Dockside is a company that prides themselves in that education. And so our customers that come to us, we see them grow and actually change their habits over time, depending on how they're doing health-wise, physically or mentally. So it's kind of cool to see the transition over the years. But there are definitely trends that I notice.
No, that makes sense, to be honest. Like, as the more you educate, the more you talk, the more likely they are to just naturally soak in the info, right?
Totally, yeah, and it makes us super happy to see people find the products that are the right things for them, and then get hooked on it. So eventually, we do see people reordering the same thing pretty much over and over and over again. But that's because they went through that trial and error process and worked with us to find what was the right product for them. And now that they found it, they don't need really anything else at that point. They've really solved what the mystery to their own endocannabinoid system, basically, and they've got it balanced out to where they feel great all day, every day.
So you said something interesting there. So they eventually get to the point where they balance out their endocannabinoid system.
Yeah.
So this is a great part. Like, it's such a powerful statement what you just said, right? Balance out your endocannabinoid system. Well, first off, let's start off with that. Please enlighten the people who are watching about what the endocannabinoid system essentially is, and kind of maybe what it does for the body.
So essentially, the endocannabinoid system runs throughout your entire body. You have your CB1 and CB2 receptors. The CB1 receptors live inside of your brain. And so that kind of has to do with where the THC connects to everything. And that's where you get that physical impairment from, is when the CB1 receptors are flooded with that THC, and then it causes the psychoactivity within your brain to make you feel high. The CB2 receptors are located throughout your entire body. And so this is where like topicals really come into play and whatnot, is because it's all throughout like your skin and all of that. And the CB2 receptors are where your CBD and THC will interact for you. And so the balance between all of this helps to let your body function properly. And so you can balance out like your sleep cycles and your hormones and all of those types of things by finding a good balance to your endocannabinoid system. And so
do you feel like when you smoke blunts or take dabs that you are balancing out your endocannabinoid system?
There's definitely times where that is my end goal, is to get me back to my baseline of feeling healthy. But I am also a recreational user on top of a wellness user. And so I do like to just get high. And so really what I've come to realize within myself is that when I'm smoking flower and I'm smoking weed, that's my recreational time. That's not necessarily where I want to feel, right or healthy. Whereas when I'm using tinctures or even dabs, honestly, and other products, that's where I balance out my endocannabinoid system. So, like, in the morning time, I don't really I won't smoke flower usually in the morning at all because it'll just make me tired and non-productive and whatnot. And so I use things like CBD dominant or CBG dominant tinctures, really, which are great for the morning. Because it gives me a little bit more mental clarity and I feel healthier and I feel balanced with that daily dose of even just a small amount of CBD or CBG dominant stuff. So yeah, I definitely just kind of have gotten to the point where I know my body and I know the products well enough that I can feel healthy without being intoxicated off of it. And then I can also enjoy it and smoke at the end of the day, just like somebody might have a drink at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to be at that point with it too.
It's interesting because you have teas now, you've got tinctures, you've got
Honey.
you don't just have honey, you don't just have candies anymore for all the different resources. Like there's really a lot of things
Right.
available out there for the different scenarios. So we have a series of questions that we've created. This is just me freestyling while I'm high smoking some Jeter. Shout out to the Jeters that I purchased from one of my accounts here in LA, Natural Remedy Caregivers. Big shout out to the discount today for hooking me up for the episode. Taylor, first question. These are just interested in hearing your perspective, hearing your thoughts. We want to get the knowledge out there, the education out there for the people. And then I have 3 trivia questions at the end to test your knowledge.
Okay.
What's good with you?
Let's go.
First question. This is non-trivia. This is for the people. Does THC matter? And your thoughts surrounding THC?
Like, do you mean like THC in general or THC percentages?
I didn't write the question. It says THC percentage matter.
Oh, does THC percentage matter?
Let me read it word for word. Does THC percentage matter? And your thoughts surrounding THC?
I don't necessarily think that THC percentage matters at all. Especially with the way that testing is, it's pretty arbitrary to look at just THC numbers by itself, especially when you have so many different variables that you have to look at. You have to look at as well the harvest date on it, how long it's been sitting around, what the storage was like for it, because all of those will degrade the THC. So even though when it was tested, whatever nug was tested, whatever that number was, may no longer be the actual number of THC. Also, what you want to look for is I would rather buy something that was higher in THCA than I would THC because THCA hasn't decarboxylated yet. And so if it's full of THCA, you know it's going to be a little bit better and it's going to get you higher because as soon as you light it up, that's when it's going to decarb to the THC. So you would have the least degradation possible. But even then, if it's it could be lacking in terpenes. It could be super old weed.
Higher the THC, the lower the terpenes, they say, as well as bad weed just not tasting good with no terpenes.
100%. So, I mean, there's too many variables.
So it matters less than what it should, right?
Right.
We in the industry we know that THC matters, but we know that it matters less than what it's supposed to. I'd say, to me, I know I've smoked some 18% weed before and been high for 30 minutes and then not been high, and I've smoked 36 to 41% and I got fucking smacked off one hit. So to me,
totally.
I find that there is truth to the THC numbers. I find that that over time, obviously, there's enough points of data or points of like really remembering how high you were, right? That it's like, all right, I was 3/5 high. I was 4/5 high. Oh, I was fucking fucked up. I was 5 out of 5 high, right?
Yeah.
But only having done that after a lot of videos did I really identify that like there's some big differences. You know what I mean? Remember when we used to get those Hanu edibles and they used to fucking say 8 milligrams, 8.8 on the back or whatever? And I would be like, what the fuck is going on? Like these say 10 on the front. What the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? And so the body notices 8 milligrams versus 10. The body definitely notices that shit.
Well, it
So
also depends on how your day has been going and what has been going on with the day. Because certain days I can literally smoke all day long and never feel high at all, and then other days I smoke even a couple of bong tokes and I'm stupid high off of anything, kind of a thing. So it's also depends on what you're intaking in your body, especially with edibles. Because if you have a fattier diet, the edibles have the potential to stick longer in your system and stick better in your system as well. Whereas if you're eating really clean and light and healthy, they don't always stick nearly as much. I've worked with a lot of people, and some people can't even process edibles to the point to where they feel high or anything. It's crazy. But there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of variables and factors in it. But it is a good indicator for potency when combined with a couple of other of those factors. 100%.
all right, all right, all right. My next question is more about your thoughts for the state. First for the state, second for the city, third for the store. Okay. So, what are the most popular products would you say for Washington? Let's start with edibles.
With edibles,
Not for Dockside, for the state.
for the state, I'd say something like Moxie Mints.
Okay.
Moxie Mints have been one of the top tier edibles for, I mean, since recreational started. Moxie Mints have
They're
been,
everywhere. They're
yeah,
everywhere.
they're literally everywhere. So I would say that those are probably some of the biggest ones. I unfortunately want to say probably something like Marmas or something like that, just because NWCS is such a big company
Have
that
you had their high burst?
no, I don't. I don't usually buy NWCS at all.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair, fair, fair. Okay. What about for concentrates? Specifically dabs.
Specifically dabs. That's
Live resin first.
huh?
Live resin kind of products first. Live resin or diamonds, that kind of stuff first.
Oh man. I quite honestly, I wouldn't even know, but educated guess would probably be somebody like Oleum's Live Resin or
Yeah.
something like that. They've been a tried and true brand for a long time for dabbers, so I would say probably something like that. But yeah, I don't know. The concentrate market is a
Well, shout
little
out,
bit more mysterious.
big shout out to Oleum, and also though big shout out to Northwest Cannabis Solutions. Big shout out to would you say Moxie Mints?
Yeah,
Who's the other?
Botanica, that whole umbrella.
Yeah, and then also two Craft Elixirs. Their shit's still super
The
fire.
Pioneer Squares, if we want to talk about Dockside specific, we know that the Pioneer Squares, specifically black and blueberry and their pink lemonade flavors, are top sellers.
Yeah,
We will run out of them. We can't keep them in stock a lot of the times because people will buy 4 bags at a time and hit their edible limit with those things. So
yeah,
yeah, shout out
those are
Craft
definitely fire.
Elixirs because they know what they're doing, and they've been around a long time as
Yeah.
well. I remember having their syrup way back in the day.
Now, here's the real question people are wondering is what are some of the best flower brands in the state of Washington?
Wow. I mean, when you ask me, I will always have Fire Bros in my top tier. I started smoking them when I was a medical patient in like 2013, 2014, and I haven't stopped since. So that is really a testament to their quality.
Give me your starting five for the state.
Starting 5 for the state would definitely be like Fire Bros, Lifted, uh, honestly, Royal Tree's been in there, even though it's hit and miss with their strains sometimes for me. But they've been tried and true. I've been smoking them for a long time. And then I would probably say, oh god, those top 3 are really easy to name, but the other 2, because I bounce around a lot. Oh god. Scored. And number 5 is really hard, but I'd this is so hard because there's so many brands that I really like that I just don't want to like discount anybody else, because like I pick and choose strains from each individual farm because
But right now, we're talking about starting 5. If you're going head to head against California, Taylor,
I
who's your
know.
starting 5? You named 4. I need a 5th.
All right, Gold Leaf.
Ooh, they're back in the starting 5, huh?
Yeah, they are. They are.
Now, you don't have to give me strains from each of those, but if you could, what are some of the more popular strains that you've seen in the state? What would you say what would you say your favorite strains are in the state? And please don't give me 5 cheese strains. And then what would you say consumers are really buying? Like, what really stands out to you for that consumers really buy?
I don't actually see a lot of cheese out here right now, unfortunately, or else I would be gobbling that up. You're right. Oh God, this is a hard one. Well, if we're talking, I mean, Cushman's has obviously been the most popular strain.
Yeah.
And Cushman's from K Savage is phenomenal. Really, if you're looking for a gassy strain, K Savage is going to be a great brand to buy. And then,
Cushman's.
yes, he has some on deck, ready to go. I mean, wedding cake has been a staple, although we're definitely seeing people move away from the wedding cake strains at the moment. People are starting to venture out further, and I'm literally hearing them say that they're getting tired of it.
Wedding cake.
Yeah, gelato's still super super popular. Jack Herrera on the other side of the spectrum, Jack Herrera is something that I sell constantly and have people ask about all the time. Although if you ask certain people, it's Jack Heron, Jack Herrera, and they can't pronounce it.
Honestly, shout out to the Jack Herrera family, because I was just with Dan Herrera the other day. And
Were you?
yeah, that was super dope to be around.
That's awesome. Yeah, still to this day, it's one of the strains that everybody digs on. What else? God, it's so hard to think about.
No, that's 5. That's 5
Was that?
brands. 5 brands. You got 3 or 4 strains right there.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm high.
Yeah, I could. I can just keep talking about
different.
different shit on and on and on. But like I said, it just, I pick and choose different strains from different farms, just depending. But I always like to keep it fresh and keep things rotating, just because you never know what you're gonna find. You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, the next question is, we've gone over some of the brands, popular products, strains that you've noticed that you like, as well as what's popular. What would you say as a bud tender, is your favorite thing about working behind, just behind the counter?
Well, I already kind of mentioned it. Making the change in people's lives for the better. Like they come in and they're having like severe pain or like the worst day of their lives or something like that, and you find them that right product and they come back the next time and they tell you how either amazing they feel or how much better they're doing mentally or whatever. That right there is what honestly keeps me going and makes me not want to just like walk out on certain days, because it is retail sales still. So at the end of the day, you still have to deal with, and we're high volume in my store. We're constantly super busy. And so some days it's really hard to keep going, to keep working with the public. But our loyal regulars who always come on in, and those people that you truly make a difference in their life, like that is what makes it so rewarding to do this job. So that is my favorite aspect. That's why I became an MMC, because I've spent over a decade of my own life like 13 years now solid of actually like researching and studying the plant and the benefits of what it can do for you, and it truly it's amazing to see people's lives change because of it.
Now we just need someone to consult you to stop smoking old CBN out weed.
Well, if we did that, then where would that weed go to then? Somebody's got to smoke it.
Somebody's got to smoke all the old stuff, right?
Yeah, or else we're just destroying it in the back room at work and mixing it into soil.
Oh, no, we can't do that.
We can't do that. You know how heartbreaking it is to see somebody like Dockside has an exchange policy to where we will exchange anything. Like if it is not sitting right with you, if it is like if it's a bad batch and moldy or something like that, like whatever, like we will exchange it, which is crazy. But at the end of the day, it really does happen where some people get some stuff and they don't smoke all of it. They smoke like a bowl or two, and we exchange out an eighth or even a quarter sometimes. And it's like that weed now goes to the back and then gets destroyed. That's what happens to old weed that doesn't get smoked, is it gets destroyed in the store. Like it sucks.
Well,
it sucks.
that's
so somebody's
insane.
Got to boof it.
The quote of the night. Somebody's got to boof it. So to move forward to the next question, how do brands in Washington educate budtenders about their products? Obviously, 2022 is real fresh into the year. So dating back into 2018, how would you describe brands educating you guys as budtenders in the state of Washington?
Well, back in the day, it was a little bit different. And brands would come in and do like vendor days, or they would just talk to you when they're dropping off an order or something. But nowadays, we have things like Top Tender, which a bunch of brands have created their own programs where you can get educated on their products. Like I'm Fairwind certified and Green Revolution certified. And I think Halo might have some on there too. But they have programs that you can go to learn about all their products, and they encourage that by sending you swag and then a little thing to go on there and learn about it. We have representatives from the companies coming in constantly to talk about the product and drop off samples for us as well about their product. So there's a couple of different avenues. It's been kind of weird lately because of the pandemic. Like my store, we haven't started doing in-store vendor days again, just because we don't want to add more people into the mix when there's already enough people in the store. So it's been kind of hard to get that face-to-face time with the vendors to talk about their products. But we also get booklets. Like Kiona does a product like a strain guide booklet basically, and what's really cool is they're doing a little goodie box that has the strain guide that you can follow along while you smoke with these products basically, and that's available for us budtenders to purchase and be able to experience their product while reading and getting educated about it. So there's a few different ways that these brands go around doing it, which is really fun to get involved with.
That sounds fun. Yeah, those are definitely there's some creative ideas in there, and I definitely like Top Tender. Big shout out to their team for providing that platform to all the different tendes across the country. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The next question is more about personally to you. You've mentioned that you've been studying the plant and smoking or consuming cannabis to some form for 13 years or so. What would you say is the best weed you've ever smoked?
The best weed I've ever smoked? Shit.
When you think of it, what is the first and only thing that comes to mind?
Oh, shit. The Ewok from Fire Bros.
Ewok from Fire Bros.
Yeah, it's been one of my favorites. I remember the first time I ever smoked it. I remember the first nug I ever saw. I walked into Evergreen Patient Network. That was a dispensary in the medical era, up in like Everett, Mukilteo area. And I walked in and I saw their jar on the counter. Like I had bought a bunch of bud, and there was so many good strains back in the medical days, but I remember distinctly because they looked like giant boulders. And I literally looked at one nug and I was like, oh my God, can I see that? And I like smelled it, and it was like piney and kind of citrusy and like really earthy and just reminded me of a forest. And I was like, I'm taking this entire nug home with me. And I think it was like a 4-gram nug or something like that. And I was like, I want this nug. And that has been one of my favorites. And to this day, they still put it out, and it's like these giant boulders that you get, and it's incredible. I always recommend it to people.
Big shout out to Fire Bros for taking the title of best weed Taylor's ever smoked.
And quite honestly, if they can sponsor me one day, that would be rad. I am a huge
Taylor's
huge Fire Bros
Instagram
fan.
handle is
at Taylor Hart, TaylorHaAAART.
3 A's RT. Let them
Triple
know.
A, baby.
All right, now
Here to save the day.
Number 7 here for this portion of the interview is more about the industry. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about the state of the Washington cannabis industry for Washington State, as well as one thing you would change.
Oh, just like in general, the state of cannabis in Washington?
Yeah, people don't know what's good with Washington.
Oh man, I think we're outdated and behind the times and need to make some changes and get the ball rolling on some things. It is incredibly dangerous at the moment because we are still a cash only business, and so we really need to move forward and allow, and this is more so on a federal level and not necessarily state level, because we can only do so much if the federal banks don't want to work with cannabis, but that really needs to change and whatnot. I think Washington cannabis craft wise is becoming a great industry, and I think it has the potential, but without things like consumption lounges and without a change, this would be the first thing that I would change, would be the like limitations of what you can buy and how that is figured out, because we're limited, especially in the edible world in particular, because it's limited to 10 milligram edibles and only 100 milligrams of THC per pack, and it's really limiting certain people. I'm mostly thinking about a lot of my medical patients and whatnot who stock up and they can't get enough from those dosages and whatnot. And so, and it's also based on the weight of how much you can buy. And that is ridiculous because, like I mentioned, craft elixirs and the Pioneer Squares, you can only buy 4 bags. So 400 milligrams, or, that would be 40 dosages basically at their 10 milligram. But a lot of people have to eat half the bag or, more to feel the effects of it. So it's really not conducive to a good budget. So that's like one of the first things I would change. But we technically cannot smoke in public places, can't smoke in certain apartment buildings. There's fire codes in a lot of buildings, so people literally cannot smoke anywhere in their house, which is the only place legally that you can smoke. So there's a weird, I don't know, they're in a weird spot where a lot of people cannot actually legally consume these products. And so without the consumption lounges, like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? We don't have these safe places. So people still, spark up on the street or whatever, or just illegally smoke in their house. There's multiple ways, but yeah, I think the industry, like product wise, is on such a great path with the amount of different products and I want to say the quality, but at the same time, the testing and quality control really needs to go up. Because you have things like where facilities are getting caught falsifying test results. So yeah, there's certain things, but I think collectively as a whole, it's on a good path. But definitely, the nitty gritty needs to be altered just a little bit. So
No, I feel that.
yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. No, there's Washington's been a little slow to the pace. A lot of the brands from here and other areas stay away from going to that market.
Right.
And it's been proven to be hard to penetrate for whatever reason and do big things. It's a unique area, it's a unique market, it's a unique beast.
Yeah.
There's not that many people in the state compared to some of these other bigger states. So some of these other areas are definitely more attractive in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Now, for you yourself as a bud tender, what would you say is your funniest or most awkward conversation or interaction with a customer on the floor?
One of the funniest, and that I still reference to this day, I had a customer come in. They were from out of the state. I don't remember exactly where, but they were from out of state and they were visiting and they just wanted to get super high. And they were looking for something that was nice and balanced kind of a vibe. And they were like, they were looking for like a eighth or something of a sativa. And I laughed so hard at that idea of the sativa being a hybrid type vibe that I use it all the time now to describe a hybrid. And I get customers to laugh nowadays. So thank you, whoever you were that came and visited and gave me that, because I have people cracking up all the time now when they're like, I don't know, something a little bit both, little cerebral, a little body. I'm like, oh, so you want a sativa?
That is so funny.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the funniest things that has stuck with me throughout the years so far. I have plenty of funny stories of things because there's something super special about the team at Dockside and Ballard. We are constantly like dancing around, singing, grooving to whatever music we got bumping. I play a lot of local cats in there too. So people come in all the time and they're like listening to themselves on, play our speakers or something like that. And so we're constantly clowning around and joking and having fun. So I'm constantly having a good time. But that one in particular, the sativa, has stuck with me forever.
That's a good one. I love it. I love it. My next question for you. This one is about bud tenders or cannabis industry. How people can get into the space or something along those lines. And so, what advice do you have for people to get into cannabis or to specifically become a bud tender?
Specifically becoming a bud tender, if you want to do that, it takes a special kind of it's curative retail sales. Basically, you have to be able to hone in and extract a bunch of information from your customer in order to find the right product from them. And so you don't even necessarily need to have that much cannabis knowledge to get into it. I mean, we've trained a lot of new people in our store who had never worked in cannabis that now are super knowledgeable. So you don't inherently need the cannabis knowledge to start, but you need that sales and that connection to people and wanting to help them find things. Because a lot of people don't know a lot about it. And so as long as you find yourself a good shop with other bud tenders who are going to be helpful to you and whatnot, then you can definitely pick up the information through it, as long as you have that core retail sales and communication and all of that. Because if you can't communicate with them and try and extract this information, then you're probably not going to have a loyal clientele base. That's just the facts. They're going to go see other people who are more knowledgeable or easier to deal with than you are. So that's like the base foundation of it, I would say. But the cannabis knowledge is really, I mean, you do need it. There's so much to it, and having a light, biology kind of background, even just a little bit, is really nice, because of the way that the cannabis interacts with your body. Once you understand those interactions, finding the right things for the right people gets so easy. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and seen every different iteration, I feel like, of how something can respond in one's body, that I have like the main ones down. So when a customer comes in, it's really easy for me. I basically do a mental flow chart and go through all of these different things, and I find the right product for them, and they usually come back for more every time, because I've just been doing it for a while and I know my shit.
You know how to break them down.
Yeah.
Roll them up and spark it up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Joey, relax. Chill out. All right. So, did you work in traditional retail before cannabis? Had you done jobs like this before?
Yeah, I was a barista before this, so it's really helped me in this job. Especially, like, I remember my regulars. I remember the things that they like to smoke or what they smoke last. Like, I remembered my old regulars' coffee orders or whatever. Sorry, the Puffco just dinged, so.
Well, all right, everybody, good time for you guys to like, follow, subscribe. RespectMyReason.com, good place to check out daily news. Good place for you guys to go tap in. YouTube is where this is streaming. Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter. Make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe. Please do share. If you guys are a budtender and you're interested in being featured, please shoot us an email, info@respectmyreason.com. Taylor also has a show. She does it earlier today. It's called Blunt Talk. She does really cool different kinds of entrepreneurs and humans that make music and art and that also advocate for different things. And so make sure you guys check all that out. You guys can follow her on Instagram at Taylor Hart with 3 A's, HAAAART. I get lost in that. You know what I'm saying?
Triple A, baby.
All right. So you worked as a barista before. It's similar. You remember the regulars' names. Dope. Everybody, now we are approaching the end of the video, which means trivia time. All right, are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
I might give you 6 questions, only if you do these only if these 3 aren't too easy.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Name. This is a good question. This is tough. Let's go. All right. Name 2 of the dominant terpene profiles found in gelato.
In gelato?
Yes.
I would say caryophyllene and myrcene.
Ooh, all right. Give me another.
Humulene, maybe?
Ooh, all right. That counts. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
We have caryophyllene, limonene, and humulene.
Oh, okay.
Because some of the gelatos are that lemon cherry gelato, so it's hard to say. That's why we
totally.
Yeah, there's always that citrusy berryness in there.
Yeah, to be fair, limonene would have been my next guess. So.
All right. Are you ready for this next one? This next one is a little tough.
Okay.
All right. What are the parent strains for Sunset Sherbet?
Sunset Sherbet is
A Sunset Sherbet.
Shit, this is a good question. I want to say that it is it Girl Scout and Pink Panties?
Oh, she got it! Oh!
Yes!
Yeah, knocked it out the park. Man, you had a
Hey,
full count on that one, and you hit a home run at the end on that. That was crazy. She
holla.
said,
That was a
"Girl
hard one though.
Scout and pink panties." Is that one word? No, that's not one strain. Damn, that was crazy, Taylor. All right,
Holla,
2
holla.
for 2. We're not stumping Taylor. We're not stumping Taylor. All right, the last thing. This is super easy for you. Damn. For the people one time, please do describe the entourage effect.
Oh, the entourage effect. Fun. This is when everything comes together in your body. The cannabinoids, your terpenes, and your endocannabinoid system. They all play in together and then they make you feel all types of ways. The terpenes direct the THC to tell you how to feel. The THC makes you high and the CBD feels good. Anyways, they all come together.
How often do you do that?
Oh, 20 times a day.
Oh my
I can do
god.
it through interpretive dance.
Yeah, I see that. That was hilarious. All right, so you're 3 for 3 on those ones. So we're gonna run it back to the episode 1 questions.
Ooh.
All right, here we go. Hey, Colin, she got through your questions. You gotta work them harder. All right. Question number 4. Name 2 of the dominant terpenes found in OG Kush.
Oh, pinene and limonene?
All right, so one of those is fairly accurate. Give me one more.
Would the other one be myrcene?
Yes. All right. Question 1, she's still getting it. All right, 4 for 4. All right, here we go. Number 5. I don't know. I don't know if you got this one in you. I don't.
Okay.
What? You're gonna have to go back into the vault for this one. What are the parent strains for Girl Scout cookies?
Ooh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
Smoke a lot of
is-
cookies, or have you been stealing a lot of cookies from the cookie jar? Because
Well,
you're
to
stoned.
be fair, cookies aren't actually my favorite types of strains because I just don't like the way cookies makes me feel often, depending on the cross. But
Oh, well, sorry, we're not asking you about Ewok today, but no, this is about growth.
that's a damn shame. This one might be the one that I can't think of off top, and I'm gonna kick myself for it. But
You are going to kick yourself because you do, in fact, know this. This
I
is why
do.
this is why this one is a surprisingly tricky question.
It is a surprisingly tricky.
It's like a speed bump that's bigger than you expected.
Oh God, I don't even think I can think of it.
Not even one of the parent strains, huh? Last final 5.
No, I think I'm gonna completely blank on this, and I'm gonna
give you
hate
the
myself.
opportunity to phone a friend, but no one is commenting in the thread. So we'll give you the million.
Oh, can I phone Colin?
Phone a friend? Well, you can't phone the person who made the question. All right, everybody. Here you go. What are the parent strains for Girl Scout cookies, aka GSC? First strain, OG Kush.
Oh, duh.
Second strain, Durban Poison.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's really far in the vault. Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time.
All right. So she's still doing good, everybody. She is 4 out of 5 with question number 6 up next. We have name 1 well-known. And when we say well-known, we mean well-known. Okay? Not something that's currently on the market that's popping in your city or in your store or wherever. Well-known strain that's high in CBD.
That's highest in CBD?
Very high CBD.
I would say Harlequin.
More.
Charlotte's Web.
Okay, the ding, ding, ding. There's the one to give you the answer. Give me one more. I know you got one more for the people. Come on. You got to think. I know you know them.
Sour Tsunami.
Okay, that's another one. I have Harlessu here. You named Harlequin and Tsunami, so
Yeah,
there you go.
and that's cross of those two.
Yep. All right,
Yeah.
we have AC/DC and Critical Mass as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
Taylor, you went 5 for 6 today on trivia.
Ta-da.
You did really well on the episode 2 questions, 3 for 3. Big thank you today for coming through
Yeah.
and hanging out. This was fun. It's always a good time to hang out. Feels just like I'm back there with you and
Yes, I miss you so much.
Thankfully, I'm not smoking swishers. I leave that up to you. So
Oh, I don't either. All hemp, baby.
all hemp, baby, as everybody else
Yes.
should consider as well. Taylor, thank you so much. Big shout out to Dockside for doing what they do in the community. I know that they've been around for quite some time, and they have a lot of respect, and they've served, probably over 100,000 customers. So,
Oh, easily. Easily.
big shout out to them. I bought weed from them back in the day a little bit. I remember getting some of the Saints flower from the downtown location. Soda spot. So super dope. Big shout out to Dockside Cannabis. Everybody, if you happen to be in Seattle, make sure you visit one of Dockside's numerous locations. If you pop into Ballard, please make sure to visit Taylor. Ask for Taylor. Shout out to Respect My Region. If you need to throw up something in the store, just be like, yo, RMR, what's good? I'm here. And shout out to Taylor again. Please like, follow, subscribe. Taylor, before we get out of here, any updates for the people? Anything you want to shout out? Any boof you're trying to boof? What you got?
No, just follow me and follow me on Blunt Talk with Taylor Hart on Instagram. I have a page up there that you can see all the highlights from and all of the full episodes of Blunt Talk with Taylor Hart. Subscribe to our YouTube so that you can watch that as well. I go live every Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. most times. Yeah, I'm really just pushing that at the moment. And I am getting back into writing as well. I have a few different things that I'm kind of working on at the moment. But I took a little brief month off there for January because it was my top 20 albums of 2021 took a lot out of me. But I have 20 albums to recap from 2021 that you can go listen to on Spotify. I have a playlist of that. And I wrote a whole article talking about all of them on Respect My Region as well. So 20 super dope artists that I am continuing to listen to over and over and over again because it was super dope. Lots of good stuff from last year. So yeah, all of that. Follow me on everything at Taylor Hart with 3 A's in Hart, HART. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Bang! Bang! Thank you guys again. On this episode, I smoked some peach rings Jeters. So if you noticed that I was looking exceptionally high, big shout out to these joints for doing their job. Everybody, thank you again. Episode 2 featuring Taylor Hart. This is the Better Budtenders Podcast. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, talk some shit, do what you got to do. But no matter what, don't you boof without a bottle. So I will see you guys down the road. All right. Love you guys. Taylor, I'll talk to you soon. Love you all. Peace.
Peace.